Maybe I shouldn't shoot at my own brain.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
Oh. Are you my brain? Cool. I can talk to my own brain. Can my heart and spine talk too?
Yes. Well, you do know that those particular organs don't have neurons and are thus incapable of speech. Yes?
Oh. Well, you don't have a mouth, but you can talk. Explain that, smarty pants.
I don't have... Ugh. I have an inferior frontal gyrus wired directly into a speech synthesizing processor. Your heart can't be wired up to a thought synthesizing processor. You can't talk to it.
Brain, you seem awful smart all of a sudden.
I've been bettering myself, I'll have you know. I've been reading. Actual literature, mind you, not that La Fantôme or Tales of Chivalry drivel. I've been studying the classics, acquiring a solid grounding in medicine and the sciences. Also, I'm fairly certain this tank has been liberally salted with ground mentats.
You talk a lot of science, Brain, but I don't understand.
Very well, let me put this in terms you'll understand. Brain, smart. Heart, stupid. Spine, very stupid. You, exceptionally stupid. Does that explain the matter? Well, we certainly wouldn't want to strain your comprehension, would we?
Cool.
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Actually, yeah, I'd like a cookie. Where's they at?
Is this really what I have to look forward to?
Why are you such a dick?
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
You're responsible. You're my brain.
I most certainly am not. I'm the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership. All those feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone, do you know where those come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are.
We'll revisit the topic later.
Oh yes, I rather expect we will. We'll be having a very long talk about crawling through old ruins, herring off on missions of revenge. And cazadors. Oh yes, we'll talk a lot about them.
Mentats.
Ah, the meat has returned. Lovely.
But you're the source of most of those glands, unless you're arguing that my thyroid is to blame. So many smart words from the dumbass!
Well, look, it's all a very complex system of biofeedback and other things I wouldn't expect you to understand.
You're just as glandular as I am.
Oh, all right. Perhaps I am, but at least I'm logical about it.
I thought you'd want to be back in my head. Something about the 2 parts, 1 side.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
Too bad I've got arms. You don't. You're coming with me. What about the good things? Blowing people apart. Food.
Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones.
But you'd rather just stay here and never leaving a tank of ground human tats?
Well, certainly there might be some things I miss about being ambulatory. We have seen some incredible sights, haven't we? Jason Bright and his followers launching into the vast unknown. But still, given the tremendous, potentially life-ending peril that went along with those, yes, I'd rather stay here. Of course. After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
How did he manage that?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though.
Seems like an unlikely coincidence.
Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
Okay.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
I can't believe that.
I don't believe it. It's just a simple fact. One may as well believe the Earth is round or that the specific gravity of uranium is 18.9.
Well, if you like being stuck in there so much, maybe I'll just leave you.
Oh no. Please, don't leave me here in this nice, safe dome where I have access to nutritive fluids and a fully indexed library. Please don't deprive me of being dragged through a landscape so bleak it was actually improved by the end of the world. I don't know how I could bear it.
Why you never say anything about Phil before?
What did you think all those self-preservation instincts were, hmm? All those times you thought for a fleeting second, maybe I shouldn't punch that deathclaw in the face. That was me telling you exactly how I felt before!
Come on, we're getting out of here.
Ugh, crawl back in there? Are you mad? I don't know where you've been. For all I know, you're riddled with disease or packing one of those delightful head wounds you seem to attract. I'm not crawling back into your head just to ooze right back out again.
I promise I'll take better care of myself.
Even if I believe you, and I'm not saying I do, we still have one significant problem we're facing. Even if I wanted to settle myself back in your skull and go to all the trouble of reconnecting nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Why? They promised to put us back together once I did what they wanted.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead.
Then let's go make them share. Come on, brain, it's stomping time.
Oh, lovely. We've reached the mindless violence portion of the program. Tell me, what exactly are you, and I use the word loosely, planning?
Guns. I'm going to give them a demonstration of the physics behind small, fast-moving chunks of lead.
Now that you mention it, I do miss that lovely rat-a-tat-boom a bit. It's just not the same without a body to feel the recoil.
See, you are glandular! Huh? He'll stay here. If the think tank won't hold up their end of the bargain, we'll make them.
Right! Look out, think tank! This brain is coming out of its jar! I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Clyde will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.